guys, Cash Brown back again. Hope you're having a fantastic day or night, depending on where you are. So, every video I make is quite serious because it kind of comes with the territory when you talk about the things that we discuss on my channel. And I don't want you guys to have to get frustrated every single time you watch a video of mine. Like, I want to do some fun stuff as well. So, I thought, what better than to check out Awaken with JP. Now, if you haven't checked out this man's channel, oh my gosh, are you missing out? I came across his channel maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and he has got to be one of the funniest people I've seen on YouTube. So, I haven't seen this video. I thought I would save this one for me and you to watch together. This video is called How to Think Like a Leftist. And if any of Awaken with JP's other content is anything to go by, this is going to be hilarious. So I'm super excited about it. But before we jump into it, before I always do, can I please ask that if you do enjoy the video, please consider supporting the channel by liking the video, comment, let me know what you think about the video, subscribe to the channel, do all that fun stuff. I'd really, really appreciate it, and it would mean the world. Otherwise, let's jump into how to think like a leftist.
Say you're a normal person who wants to become a leftist. Great. Sounds like a good step of personal development to me. But you might run into problems trying to learn how to think like a leftist. Because with leftist logic that lacks any rooting in rational thought, integrity, or self-awareness, you can be left confused and unable to grasp their unique thinking methods. That's why I'm going to walk you through a...
Do they think, though? I feel like, you know, the thoughts that they do have, it's always the same thing, you know. Leftists as a whole don't usually think for themselves, and you see that when you see every single leftist, especially on TikTok. TikTok is just lousy with them. Every single leftist just saying the exact same thing. And the funny part is, usually a lot of what they're saying is false. And that's how you know they're not thinking for themselves, because they hear some other person who is completely misguided. They say something and then someone else says it and then they say it without doing any kind of research at all. They just kind of spout what they hear on TikTok. So I don't think leftists do think a lot, but you know, let's continue.
Very clear flow chart that'll show you exactly how to think like a leftist, so you can too. It's pretty simple. Let's start from the beginning. Okay, now you got to know how to contemplate some key questions and political hot topics. So let's start with this. My body, my choice. Is that a true or a false statement? Okay,
false.
Well, are we talking about...
Okay, true or false? I would say true to an extent. But once you fall pregnant, it's no longer your body, it's the fetus's body. So, yeah, like, I don't like the argument, my body, my choice. Like, you had a choice, and you chose to have sex without protection, or you chose to have sex at all. And with having sex, there comes risks. One of the risks is falling pregnant. So you had a choice. If you didn't want to fall pregnant, perhaps you made the wrong choice for you, but you had a choice.
About killing a baby inside of your body. Yes. Well then, my body, my choice is a true statement and always is. Because it's your body, nobody else should ever have any say in the matter. So congratulations, you're on your way to thinking like a leftist. But let's just say no. Well, are we talking about injecting a very profitable pharmaceutical product into your body? Yes, we are. Well, then you should have no say in the matter because it's your body, someone else's choice. So my body, my choice is a false statement.
And you're even more worried.
Which should have you thinking even more like a leftist now. Now that we solved that one, let's take a peek at how you can look at any incident and decipher, is it an insurrection?
Oh my God.
Are you being led into the Capitol building by a security guard? Yes. Well, then it is an insurrection, and those bastards should spend 1.5 years in prison as political prisoners because they're insurrectionists. And you were thinking like a leftist. Okay, now let's say, no, you're not going into the Capitol building. Well, are you storming the Supreme Court and protesting outside the homes of judges, even though that carries a 1-year jail sentence? Yes, you are. Okay, well that's different because it's much worse, which makes it better. So no, that is not an insurrection because you're just trying to overthrow the justice system of the US because you're a leftist. Now let's see how the leftist mind thinks about this question. Is freedom of speech dangerous? Well, is it free speech being used by the media to propagate dangerous narratives that harm people? Yes. Well then, no, freedom of speech is not dangerous because you're thinking like a leftist. Okay, back here. Is free speech being used by the media? No. Well, is it being used by ordinary citizens as it is their constitutional right to do so, to share information so they can make decisions based on their own free will?
Yeah.
Yes. Then yes, freedom of speech is always dangerous and should be banned because you're thinking like a leftist. All right, next.
Honestly, as funny as this video is, like, Awaken with JP, I truly think he's one of the funniest people on YouTube. But as funny as this video is, like, just seeing it, like, on a board in front of you, right? Just seeing all of this stuff written down. We all know how ridiculous all of this stuff is. We do. That's why you guys watch my videos. That's why you enjoy my videos. Because, you know, we have very similar views, right? We know how ridiculous this stuff is. But just seeing it, like, right there, you know, it's just, God, they're so hypocritical. And it's so crazy. And I cannot believe that the world has gotten to the point that the world is at. It is scary. It is dangerous. Like, and it's mind-blowing. And never in my life have I felt that it's urgent for me to make a change, right? Like, there's always been, the world has never been perfect, yeah? There's always things that need to be changed. But I have never felt more strongly that I need to help urgently to change how things are than I do these days. It's truly scary. I do react to a lot of American content like this, a lot of, I watch Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, Matt Walsh. I watch a lot of American stuff and I'm very interested in American politics and I spend a lot of time looking into it. But I am Australian, I live in Australia. And I have heard recently, I think this morning I heard, that every, like Sydney, Melbourne, Victoria, there are a few places in Australia where the children's hospitals are now starting to push gender theory. So, like, I don't know how to stop this as one person. I think that's why making my videos is so important. Like, yeah, the videos like this are just a bit silly. But it has never been more important that we do something about this because the idea, if you told me 10 years ago that it would be socially acceptable to have minor attracted people around children, to have drag queens around children, to have trans ideologies pushed onto children in schools, and children are being taken off their parents because they refuse to call them a boy or a girl, like, I would laugh in your face and say, haha, funny joke, go away. It sounds so insane and so unbelievable, but it's the world we live in. And yeah, just seeing it like up on a board, it's like, oh my God, we need to stop this.
Should you virtue signal at all times,
If you're a
even
leftist,
when you
absolutely.
have no idea what you're virtue signaling about? Answer, yes, because that's the left thing to do. Now for a wild card. Should you stand with the LGBTQ flag because that community means more to you than anything else?
No.
Yes, always. Okay, well, should you stand with Ukraine at the same time? Yes. Then for maximum virtue signaling points, should you alter the LGBTQ flag to include Ukraine colors? Answer, yes.
Did they actually do that? That's not something I've seen. That is crazy. People from Ukraine must be so offended by that.
You'd have to be a moron not to. And then given that gay marriage is banned in Ukraine and therefore Ukraine is against the LGBTQ community, do you continue to virtue signal for both at the same time? Answer, I don't know what you're talking about because you sound racist right now. Yes, you should stand for both. Congratulations, you're thinking like a leftist. Now let's think about this question. Is racism everywhere?
Sure.
Yes, all people are racist. No exceptions. Pretty straightforward and nuanced. Well then, does that mean you're racist? No. Why? because everyone is racist except me. Makes sense. From there, do you agree with Joe Biden, who's white, when he says you should judge people based on the color of their skin, not the content of their character? Yes, I agree with Joe Biden, who's white. So does that mean you disagree with Martin Luther King Jr., who's black, when he says the opposite, which is you should judge a person based on the content of their character, not the color of their skin? I disagree with Martin Luther King Jr., who's black. Okay. Then why do you agree with a white guy's perspective on racism and disagree with a black guy's perspective on racism?
It sounds mighty racist to me.
Answer: everyone is racist except me, because I think like a leftist. Make sense? And now for the age-old question, do masks work?
No.
Yes. Therefore, you should always wear one. You gotta respect the science. But do masks really work? Yes, but also no. Mine won't work unless you wear one too.
Yeah.
Therefore, you must always wear one too.
Sorry to cut that off right there. How insane is that? Like, do people never just stop and think about things? Why do I have to wear my mask if masks are so effective? It wouldn't matter if I'm wearing a mask, because if you're wearing a mask and masks are effective, then you don't need to worry about me wearing a mask. But if masks aren't effective, then why would I wear one anyway? Right? People never just stop and think, like, what is it that I am saying and doesn't make any sense?
Because, follow the line, my body, my choice is a false statement, as we've already established.
Of course.
People should have no say whether they wear one or not. Okay, now back here. Do masks work? Yes. Are you Fauci? Yes.
Yes.
Are you hanging with celebrities and you want them to see your ugly face so you can feel significant? Yes. Okay, well, do masks still work? Yes, they do, but you don't have to wear one because my body, my choice. So unless you're Fauci, enjoy wearing your mask in your car by yourself to protect you from yourself because you're thinking like a leftist.
I feel like I'm well on my way to becoming a leftist, although I am very, very clearly joking. If I ever do exhibit any signs of thinking like a leftist, please put me out of my misery, because I've clearly gone insane.
Fascism, or is it democracy? Now these are two very different forms of governing, so this should be easy to answer. Let's take free speech, for example. Is it fascism or democracy? Well, is it a conservative talking?
Right.
Yes. Then it's clearly fascism, and we must destroy freedom of speech in order to save our democracy. Okay, another scenario. Got free speech, conservative talking. No, it is not. Well, is someone using threats, intimidation, and violence to silence the opposition? Yes. Is it Hitler doing it? Yes. Then it's clearly fascism. Back here. Is it Hitler doing the threats, intimidation, and violence? No. Is it you doing it? Yes. Well, then it is a necessary aspect of a democracy being used to save our democracy. Thank God for you being a leftist.
Oh, the hypocrisy. It is blinding.
A leftist, if there's one thing you love more than lockdowns, it's fear-mongering about the climate crisis. But here's the question you got to learn how to think through. Is the climate crisis severe enough that ice caps will melt immediately? Are you a normal person? Yes. Well then, the climate crisis is severe, the ice caps are melting immediately, and cities will be underwater soon unless something drastically changes. Okay, starting here again, are you a normal person? No. Okay. Are you Obama? Yes. Do you continually fearmonger about the severity of the climate crisis? Yes. Oh. Well, then go ahead and buy that $12 million beachfront estate on Martha's Vineyard that you already purchased, because the climate crisis is not severe, therefore there's no immediate threat of rising oceans. And now you're thinking about climate change like a leftist. Okay, another scenario. Climate crisis severe. Are you a normal person? No. Are you Obama? No. Are you Bill Gates? Yes. Do you continually fearmonger about the severity of the climate crisis? Answer, yes. Oh, well then go ahead and buy that $40 million beachfront property in San Diego that you've already purchased, because there's no way it'll be underwater because the climate change is not severe. Okay,
It's only severe when it's convenient. Do you not know that?
more time. Climate crisis. Are you a normal person? No. Are you Obama? No. Are you Bill Gates? Also no. Well, are you Al Gore? Yes. Well then the climate crisis is severe, and the ice caps have already melted, and all the coastal cities are already underwater since 2016, as you predicted they would be in An Inconvenient Truth. And that's how to think about the climate crisis like a leftist. It really couldn't be more cut and dry. Now, we live in very divided times, and you'll regularly encounter people who have different perspectives than you. But how can you tell if they're right or you're right? Well, are you rage crying about it? Yes, that got scrunched. Then you are right and they are wrong in this situation. Not done yet. What about this? Do they have good science, integrity, and morals behind their perspectives?
Well, then they must be wrong, right? Because aren't we always?
Yes. Okay, so they have science, integrity, and morals behind them, but are you mentally ill? Oh, you're offended that I asked? Then yes, you are mentally ill. Therefore, you are right and they are wrong in this situation. Okay, let's go back here. They got science, yes. Are you mentally ill? Oh, you're not offended that I asked? Cool. But are you rage crying? Yes. Oh, you are mentally ill. Therefore, you are right and they are wrong in this situation. And now you're well on your way to having your brain washed in leftist logic. All right, and finally, let's get ready to shut down all the science deniers out there, because we're going to answer this question. Can men get pregnant? Answer,
No.
yes, men can get pregnant. The only exception is a few men who suffer from rare infertility problems. That's great and very scientifically sound. And because men can get pregnant, should men have a say on abortion? Answer,
You would think so.
absolutely no say. Okay, well, why not? Answer, only women should have a voice in the matter because no, men can't get pregnant. Don't be an idiot. Okay, but are you Bill Gates? Yes, you are Bill Gates. Well then, yes, men can get pregnant because you already look pregnant, Bill. And that pretty much solves the riddle if men can get pregnant or not, because you're thinking like a leftist. And that's it. Now you're thinking like a leftist. It's kind of like a just imprint this into your mind and you won't have to think anymore style of thinking.
Sure.
It's pretty straightforward. Enjoy having your mind function like this. Any questions?
I want this t-shirt. I might have to go and check out Awaken with JP's merch store. And I recommend you guys do the same. If you like that video, go check out his YouTube channel. He is hilarious and he just spits facts and he's just always funny. He is truly amazing. So go and check out his YouTube channel. And yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought. I thought that was hilarious. We know how ridiculous these people sound. Every single word out of their mouth is a contradiction. And they're too stupid to see it. But then when you point it out, you're called a name and that shuts you down immediately. How do you argue with something like, oh, you're just saying that because you're racist, you're ableist, you're this, you're that. There is no argument then. You're talking to a brick wall who's never going to listen, right? But we see the hypocrisy. We see these moronic takes and look, we know what the left are like, right? But when you see it up on the wall like that, it just really puts into perspective how these people think. And it must be exhausting. No wonder they rage cry. No wonder they're constantly screaming and carrying on and full of emotion. And there's absolutely no critical thinking whatsoever going on upstairs. Because that's what their brain's like. That's how their brain operates. I would be tired too. Thank God that I have logic and common sense. And that's how I operate, through fact and truth and reality, you know, things like that. But yeah, I thought that was such a funny video. I really, really enjoyed that. Like I always do with Awaken with JP stuff. Yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of that. Do you guys want me to check some more of his channel out? Because I really do feel like we've got to have a video here and there where it's a bit more laid back, a bit more funny, maybe someone like Awaken with JP, where we're still discussing political things and, you know, things like that, but it is a lot more laid back and it's in more of a comedic setting. Let me know if you guys enjoy stuff like this or if you want me to kind of stick to the more serious stuff. But I do hope you enjoyed that video, you guys. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please consider subscribing. It would mean the absolute world to me and I'd be super grateful. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.